Oh my, it's time to make the do-nothing machine. So I'm actually going to do all the parts in one video, and then I'll do the assembly in a video, and I'll continue on there. So the first part we're going to do is we're going to do this base, so I'll leave this open for a minute. And now I'm going to draw it. So big thing on this is it's in millimeters, so you got to go to your document settings here and change the units to millimeters. So inch to millimeters, nice and easy. And then the first thing you should always do is create a new component, and I'm going to call this component the base. Ba-bam! And we're going to go in and draw. I'm going to draw the base from the top because that's how I want it oriented, and it is going to be 150 by 150. So there we go. Zooming out, I'm going to hit finish sketch, and I'm going to extrude that up by 35. All right. The next thing I got to add in that dovetail on the side face here. So I do that with the line tool. Gonna draw the basic shape of the dovetail and then start to dimension it. So I drew the basic shape here, boop, 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 boop. And I'm going to do some dimensioning. So this line right here should be 25. Massively changes the geometry, that's okay. Between here and here is 17.5. This angle in here, between here and here, that is 76. And it is the same on the other side. And it says we over constrain my sketch, so I've got to do something about that. Let's see if this changes it. I might have to delete a line. Yeah, so I have to delete a line, which is fine. I'd have to delete this one and this one because I went a little too crazy when I drew it the first time. So here and here. Now I should have no problem going into dimension. So dimension between here and here, 76. Great. I also need to center this, and the way I do that is I'm going to take this distance from here to here, and I'm going to say I want 150, divided by 2, which is going to give me 75, minus 25 divided by 2. And that will put me directly in the center where I want to be, which is 62.5. Remember that dimension so we don't have to do this calculation again. And I'm going to hit finish sketch. I'm going to extrude just this piece. I'm going to just grab this little arrow here. I want it to go all the way through, so I will do so. All set. Now I'm going to go to this side right here. I'm click on it. And I'm basically going to do a repeat. I'm going to get the angle a little bit more friendly than I did last time, so hopefully I won't have any issues. And I'm actually going to start by dimensioning those angles. Maybe I should have done this on the last one. But in dimensioning the angles, I feel like I'm going to get a better result. This is 25. Between here and here is 62.5. Remember that from the last one. And the distance from here to the top, that is going to be 17.5. All right, so I'm all set here. And I'm going to drag this through. And I'm going to do a fillet. With this software, you select all the faces you wish to fillet, and then we will specify the radius. So I'm going to specify all of these edges. And I think I can even get this edge, yes. And I want to fillet these at a radius of 7. And that looks good to me. And I just want this to be wood. I got this real strong urge, so I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go to appearance. I'm going to go down to wood, and I'm going to... let's go with pine. I'm going to drag pine on there. Yeah, it looks good. All right, so that is the base. Now I'm going to make another new component. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go new component. And this component is going to be the slider. Just because I feel like doing it. I'm going to keep it away from the base when I'm drawing this. But I'm going to create a sketch. This face right here, and I guess I can draw right there, that's fine. And I'm going to draw out my slider. Its dimension is going to be 276s. Go figure, because it's going to slide into that gap right there, 76, 76. This is 25, and the distance from here to the top is going to be 25 as well. So there we go, a little smaller, but it should do the job. Spinning and looking at it, I need to extrude this. I'm going to extrude it this way, -50. All right. And I'm going to do a sketch right on the top of there. And we're just going to cut out a portion of it right in the middle. So I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to grab this and that. So I got it on both axes here. Right there, that's the dead center. And that dimension is going to be 8. And I mean, you can take the time to dimension between here and here and here and here. But if you use those lines, it should be dead centered, which is where we want it. And that is going to get cut down 20. And I grabbed way too much. I just wanted the circle. Cut down 20. There we go. Perfecto. And I'm actually going to go back to the main component. And I'm going to right click this and I'm going to do move copy. I'm going to create a copy right next to it. There we go. So I got slider 1 and slider 2 now. Very interesting. And next I'm going to make a new component. And this one will be called the handle. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to draw the handle from the top. So I'm going to create a sketch. Draw it on the top here. I'm going to draw it over here. The handle, if I look at it, is going to be 18 by 200. So we got 18 by 200 there, and it's got 3 circles in the center. Just making sure they're center. Each one of these 3 circles has a diameter of 8. 8, not 15, 8. 8. And one more circle. Get that center line right there. 8. All right, and then I'm dimensioning between the circles. Between here and here is 12. Between here and here is 10. And between here and here is 75. Alrighty. I'm going to hit finish sketch. And I'm going to extrude that to be 6. Okay, and I'm going to try to remember that later. And then I'm going to go to the regular document. I'm going to, what am I going to do? Make a new component. We'll call this one the slider pin. Click OK. And where do I want to do this one? Location, unimportant. Making sure to avoid over here. So the slider pin is fairly straightforward. It's a rectangle that is going to be, we're going to say 29 by 4. I'm going to zoom in, make it a little easier. And then there's another little rectangle up on the top. That is going to be 4 by 3. I'm going to hit finish sketch on that. And we're going to revolve this, grabbing both rectangles. And we're going to select the axis to be this axis. And we're going to do the full revolve so you can see it. And then I'm going to do a round on the top edge right here using the fillet tool. And that's at 2 millimeters. Alrighty. And I'm going to go back to my main assembly. I do actually want 2 pins, so I'm going to move copy, say create copy, and I'm going to move it right on down the chain. And then finally, I'm going to do the last pin, which I'm going to do right here. And this pin is going to be another rectangle. And we'll say this one is 31 by 4. And then it's got another rectangle up here in this corner. That is going to be 25 by 3. And same procedure, finish sketch. Revolve, so like both halves. I'm going to revolve this one on this axis. Full revolve, very good. And I'm going to round it over. And the radius is going to be 5. So there we go. And I forgot to make a new component for this one. So this should be a component. So I just went into bodies there and I made it into component. The reason for that is to make sure I can use it in my assembly. And I'm going to rename this. So to be handle pin. All right, so there we go. Handle pin. I'm going to just go and quickly do some appearances. So appearance for the handle pin. Make the handle pin green. Make the sliders black. Make these pins blue. And make the handle red. So nice dispersion of colors. And that is all of your parts drawn. At this point, you should definitely probably think about saving it. So I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to make a new, I'm going to put this in my basic drawing. And I'm just going to say that this is a new folder in here. And I'm going to call it the Do Nothing Machine. I'm just going to throw it in there. Call it Do Nothing Machine. All right. So that is saved, and we can go on to assembly.